Thank you. Thanks very much, Colin. Thank you. Kathleen, please.
Good afternoon. No slides here or handouts for me, and I want to make sure that I leave you time to ask questions. So I just say in summary that when I knew I was going to make a submission after 26 years of living in Christchurch, and I wanted to approach it as I would my own business books, which is looking at my income and expenditure. And if I diversified my income appropriately and also made my business efficient. And I have to say that nothing that was published convinced me that this is an efficient organization and that appropriate scrutiny has been given. So prior to even the publishing of the LTP, I asked questions because I knew it was going to take 20 working days to get some facts and figures in front of you. And that's what's included in my submission. Bottom line here is that rates affect everybody. Don't be a bleeding heart and say it's about the pensioners and it's about the low incomes, and it affects everybody. We are a nation of small and medium businesses, a lot of self-employment. It doesn't matter where you stay in the economic cycle. These rates affect us, and 13% is just too high. And I don't believe that it'll suddenly drop to 6% or whatever. That's just marketing. And also, you don't spend money where you don't have your business partner actually committed to putting in the money. So whether that's Wheels to Wings or roadworks around the stadium, if the central government hasn't committed the money, you can't commit our money. You're stewards of our money, and you have to charge us appropriately. And I'm happy to take any questions that you've got.
Okay, Sarah, please. Yep.
Thanks so much. When it comes to business practice and being efficient and things like that, one of the things that a business would also do is to make sure that its assets are well maintained. And do you believe that we should be making sure that, for example, our water pipes and our roads, all those kind of things, are actually maintained appropriately so they don't go backwards and we don't wear bigger costs later on?
Yes, I think infrastructure is an accepted service that local government should be providing. Yeah. And I think the reality is in the 26 years, I've found the council stray further and further away from its core mission because you keep adding things that are nice to haves and things that make you feel good because you get children telling you that they're going to name their firstborn child after you. And your politicians, and I understand that that's what floats your boat, doesn't float my boat. No. But that the climate fund is a nice to have, except you haven't convinced me in your document what you're building into your current work program that helps with climate change. Yeah. And you're sitting in probably the one biggest underperforming asset that you're spending our money on. This building is a waste of money. It takes up too much space. I've given you a proposal on how you're going to downsize it, and you're going to get some money back, which is putting people more on a work from home arrangement, downsizing your footprint and subletting some space so we can get some money back into our books. Times are tough. You have to change your business model.
Excellent. And Andre, please.
Thank you. First off, compliments. You've not just told us to be mindful of rates increase, but you've actually offered 15 ideas on things, which, really appreciate you doing. It is useful for us to hear them. So one of the best submissions I've seen in doing so. My question is, just to mention one of them, you point around user pays fees at council facilities. Where do you think we should be going with that, and what would be fair? How do we avoid making it unaffordable for people? Where do you think we should go?
Again, I didn't have the financial model in front of me for what was proposed, but you've got Arana Park as an example saying to you that they're getting 65% of their operational income from fees, and they're needing help. Yeah. But when you look at the Grand Condon Centre example that I provide you, you're down well below 50% as users. So I would say, yes, I support, by the way, the money for Arana Park, but you've got to raise your user charges at the recreational facilities to meet that 65% mark in this cycle, and then need to look at leveling the playing field as to where things go. But I have no problem as a ratepayer providing the facilities and funding the depreciation, but I expect users to be prepared to pay for what we're providing them. not to pay more than half of every time someone wants to use the gym.
Again, you've been very thorough. Thank you so much.
No worries.
And lastly, Aaron?
Yeah, so with libraries, the amount of hours they're open, so what would you think of a plan to keep Tūranga open all its hours, it is, maybe even extend, but all the others reduced by a day?
Well, see, this is it. I think for 26 years, I've seen every political cycle hold up the libraries as the first thing to cut. And yet I know a number of people in the library system that are the lowest paid members of the council. And if you were using your facilities more appropriately, the mayor and all of you could hot desk at the library and reduce the space in here. And then you become more connected with the people that you're supposed to serve. So I don't think it's about hours of the library at this stage. It's about nibbling around the edges, as well as taking some big gulps. And I've said to you, stop all recruiting. That's your baseline. Times are tough. Stop all recruiting with the vacancies that are open. No one loses their job if you don't recruit a vacancy.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much.
No worries.
Thanks for it.
Have a lovely day.
You too. Okay, Mark, please.